Mr. Speaker, I am a young man and I believe that my generation has an enormous amount to look forward to as we see what Tasmania can become in the years ahead. Instead of playing tug-of-war with the naysayers, I would prefer that all Tasmanians were pulling on the same end of the rope. I would like to see a Tasmania that embraces sustainable development and economic progress if we are to mitigate against the worst effects of the global financial crisis. Then our future lies in innovation and value adding. I support wholeheartedly the Premier's statement that he would like to see maximum value extracted from every rock that we dig from the ground and every fish we pull from the sea. I believe that we do have a strong marketing brand as a clean, green state, despite some people's best efforts to trash our reputation. With that reputation come some enormous economic opportunities. We need to encourage investment in further renewable energy projects, such as the proposed Southwood biomass power generator and the exploration of geothermal energy. Tasmania has so many opportunities to create a strong and reliable portfolio of renewable energy. And with Basslink in place, our energy exports would become so much more valuable in the carbon-constrained economy of the future. By providing water security to our farmers through irrigation projects, we can increase our production and export of high-quality food and beverages. Tasmania's low cost of tenancy makes us a perfect place for businesses that are not otherwise location constrained. Once our optic fibre infrastructure is commercialised, we will be a perfect hub for innovation in information and communications technology. And through strategic marketing and regional collaboration, we can continue to develop and expand our tourism industry. Of course, to build and develop, we need to minimise constraints. That's why another key to our economic progress is planning reform. It's reasonable to expect developers to undergo a process to ensure a positive balance of economic, social and environmental outcomes. But that process should not allow projects that meet the criteria to be killed by the passage of time. It should not be possible to hold up planning proposals through spurious and vexatious appeals that push decisions beyond commercially acceptable timeframes. All approval processes should have clear timelines that are strictly adhered to. We also need a consistent framework for planning schemes across Tasmania. If we can achieve this through sensible planning reform, then developers will have a clear sense of what criteria they have to meet for approval and whether it is worth the risk of putting their project forward in the first place. I applaud wholeheartedly the planning reforms the Premier outlined in his State of the State address and look forward to the kind of sensible, enabling planning system that will be put on the statute books. It will also send the message to developers that Tasmania is open for business and that we welcome progress in our state. I believe that with the right leadership, Tasmania can avoid the recession that we have seen so many countries around the world slide into in recent months. These are tough times that call for the strength of a majority Labor government. These times also call for the strength of a leader, such as Premier David Bartlett. David Bartlett is a leader who has a vision for a clever, kind and connected Tasmania. His drive and energy and focus on all that Tasmania can be have already ensured his place as one of the great leaders of this state. I look forward to the continuation of his clear and positive leadership of a majority Labor government for many years to come. Mr. Speaker, I take my seat in this House in circumstances that are less than ideal. It's the nature of our electoral system that sometimes new members benefit from the misfortune of others. I'm sure I speak for others who have been in this situation when I say we would prefer to be elected under different circumstances. But when it does happen, when the opportunity to serve arises, we owe it to our predecessors to make the most of it. There are several people I would like to thank for their own contribution to my personal journey to this place. First of all, to my parents, Gary and Margaret. Thank you for respecting and supporting my life decisions, for providing me with moral guidance and for encouraging me to achieve all I can. I would like to thank my former employers, Paul Lennon and Senator Katrina Billick, without whose guidance I would most likely not be here. Katrina especially has been one of my greatest mentors for nearly a decade. I would also like to thank all the friends and supporters who have wished me well in my political career since it was first conceived, and thank you in advance to those who will still be with me campaigning in March 2010. Thank you to my parliamentary colleagues who have offered helpful advice, support and encouragement. And thank you to the voters of Franklin for placing your trust in me. Clearly I was not your first choice, but I intend to prove over the next 12 months that I will be working hard to make your lives better. Thank you.
The next speaker. Next speaker.